Most people think Vikings only cared about conquest, gold, land, blood, but there was one Viking warrior who chose death because living without honor was worse. This is the story of Ivar the Boneless, Last Stand, and the brutal Viking code that shaped it. To the Vikings, death wasn't the end. It was a judgment. Those who died fighting were chosen by the gods and taken to Valhalla, where warriors feasted forever and prepared for Ragnarok, the final battle of the world. A glorious death on the battlefield was the ultimate goal, a ticket to an eternity of honor. But dying weak, captured, or begging for mercy, that was worse than hell. It meant being sent to the cold, dark realm of Helheim, forgotten and shamed. And no Viking understood this better than Ivar the Boneless. Ivar was a legendary Viking leader, a son of the famous Ragnar Lothbrok, and a name feared across all of England. His body was said to be broken, possibly due to a condition like osteogenesis imperfecta, earning him the name Boneless. He was often carried into battle on a shield, unable to walk like other men. But what he lacked in physical strength, he more than made up for with his mind. It was sharp, ruthless, and brutally strategic. Ivar was the mastermind behind the Great Heathen Army, a massive force that invaded England in the 9th century. He led his warriors to burn kingdoms, topple kings, and carve out a vast territory for his people. Yet, toward the end of his life, even the great Ivar knew something unsettling. His enemies were closing in, and the possibility of capture was becoming very, very real. According to Viking sagas and legends, Ivar was faced with a choice that defined his entire legacy. He knew his time was running out, but instead of being taken alive, he gave a final, chilling command. He ordered his men to bury him upright in a burial mound, in a secret place right on the coast of England. This wasn't an act of fear or surrender. It was the ultimate strategic move. Ivar believed that as long as his body stood guard over the land, no enemy could ever successfully invade and defeat them there. And even more profoundly, he would rather face the slow suffocation of being buried alive in the dark earth than allow his enemies to capture him, to parade him through the streets as a broken trophy. To Ivar, that humiliation would have been the true death, a stain on his honor that would echo for eternity. Years passed, and the legend of Ivar's grave held strong. But then, an English king, some say it was William the Conqueror centuries later, heard the tale. Determined to break the curse, he had his men find and dig up Ivar's grave. The legend says that when Ivar's preserved body was finally exhumed and his bones scattered, the Viking protective spell was broken. And soon after, the Vikings' grip on England began to weaken, eventually leading to their defeat. Was it just a coincidence? Or was it proof that the Vikings believed in something far deeper than just war and plunder? That honor, and the power it held, could outlive the body itself? When you really think about it, for the Vikings, fear wasn't about dying. The real fear was about being remembered as weak, as a coward, as someone who lost their honor. That powerful belief is why their stories, their sagas, and their legends still survive and fascinate us more than 1,000 years later. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this dive into Viking history, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories from the past.